How did we find ourselves here in this position? Let's rewind back to the start where we make a clean getaway. The car on the right is going to poke its nose into a gap that does not exist, and they are going to nudge over the car in front, spinning both of them around. We gently brake and avoid the chaos, unlike the car behind, which kept accelerating even as it steered around us and then slams into the wall on the left. Up ahead, in the actual turn 1, a car has also gone off, and we need to keep an eye on them in case they come back. Keeping an eye on that car makes me misjudge the braking point on the cold tires, and we ourselves almost go off track as well. However, we managed to stay on track, and up ahead in the distance I can still see the other cars ahead of us. So this is a good start. We managed to stay on track, and we can still see the other participants in this race. I was not able to practice this particular race track a lot this week. It has been a busy week, those weeks happen, but again, I figured I'll give it a go as well, showing you the experience of a rookie race driver in iRacing when you have a busy week. These turns here, eventually I learned properly how to take these at a little bit faster pace for myself, and I was able to gain on the cars in front. For now, on the cold tires, I'm still cautiously navigating through here and wanting to make sure I stay on track above all else while keeping the distance to the cars in front about the same as it was before. Here, I usually take this turn in gear 2, sometimes in gear 3. I think 2 is the proper one, maybe 3 if I had more speed coming through the little chicane there, and that would have allowed me to use the full size of the track, including all of the left coming out of that turn, which I didn't do, and therefore I've had a much slower speed on this straight here. Again, still wondering about my tires, still feeling through how they're going on these turns, and again, not using all the sides of the track. There's a bumper on the road, we have to avoid that. This car disappears. I had a bumper damage, bumper fall off in a different race before. The car was fine, depends on the damage I suppose. It is prudent to make the car go back to the pits and get towed. On the other hand, I always like to try out how the car is driving, and if it's drivable, keep going. If not, go to the pits. Now that the tires have warmed up a little bit after the first lap here, I'm getting a bit more confident, trying to go through these first turns and second turn a bit faster, braking less, coasting more, trying to carry more speed into the corners, but again, not enough speed here, and I do not get the exit quite right. Again, it's the dark parts on the road that I'm looking for, and I didn't maximize all of the track usage here. This turn also presents a challenge as well to me. But while we have approximately half a lap before more action happens, we can still see the car ahead of us. So let me now welcome you to the channel. Thank you for joining me on this particular race. I did not have much time to practice this one, as I mentioned before. I did exactly one AI race and then a few test drives in a half hour before I decided to jump in on this race. I'd also used a different YouTuber who has a couple more years experience than me on this particular game. I used his video of this particular track in also the Mazda Rookie Series as a track guide. He ended up being several seconds faster than me, and that's fine, but I did use it as a track guide to learn the track while watching his video, as I was doing other things, getting ready for this one. Now, we have a straight here coming up again. Not sure how to take the exit on this one properly, but it's a learning experience still, so I'm working on it. I have two cars behind me that are faster. I'm not exiting here cleanly. I do see them coming up, so I do move over, waiting for it, and I don't want to lose too much time, so as soon as I can, I go back to the left and try to follow them as closely as possible. I don't want to hold them up because they are clearly much faster than me. They would overtake me regardless. As now I am behind them, I can probably learn something from them, figuring out where to refine my braking points, where to coast maybe a little bit in case I get closer or drift way further from them, and that allows me to then improve my racing as well. Trying to stay with them is the main goal for the next couple of laps. But we will see on the left another car coming out of the pits here, and that is a bit nerve-wracking because I was out of position. They're going over the line. I'm not sure if they should get a penalty for this or if that's fine, but let's follow this group as well. We now can see ahead of us all the cars up to P3, and that's quite exciting and interesting, still in lap 2 or 3 where we're at now, to see all the way up to P2 or P3 in front of us, all bunched together. Car going off, we make up another point, another position. Hooray! It's like that. Overall in this race I had one incident point. I think that comes up later as I go a little bit too far on this particular turn at some point in the future, but for now I'm able to stay with the cars ahead and manage to speed through here. It's also roughly around this point in the race that I turn on my relative. We'll overtake a car soon, and I'll talk to you about why I'm turning off on my relative. There we go, this car has a poor exit. We managed to capitalize on this and go around it. I turn on the relative here because it's not on by default. I didn't think of turning it on, but I do like having it on during a race, particularly because I think I'm going very fast and drive aggressively, and that makes me go fast sometimes. But having the relative there showing me the actual speed and pace differences allows me to match my impressions with how I'm driving better, faster than before, with how it's actually going in real game here. That's why I like to turn on the relatives, just to confirm my intuition on I'm going fast versus I'm actually really going slow with trying to maneuver the car in ways that it shouldn't go. Plenty of cars ahead of us in close proximity to each other. Them battling it out with each other is the only thing that allows us to stay with them for now. They are much faster and they have much more practice. This is also my first time on this particular racetrack in Germany. So I did not race this one in the previous season. The previous season was my first season. So it is a completely new track. I do like it a lot. There are several turns where I, in retrospect, when I reviewed my race on this one, can definitely see how I can probably go 3, 4, even maybe 5 seconds faster than before. This was a pretty good lap. I got a 1:44 in here, so this is about as fast as I can go at this point in time. I think next season I should be able to go at least at a 1:42, maybe a 1:41. And why do I say that? Well, I say that because even the upcoming turn, I think I could take this one with less braking, more coasting, trying to get closer to the edges. That should gain me a couple of tenths. Going through here much better and accelerating faster using more of the track should also get me another 1/10, perhaps maybe even more out of this. That'll allow me to get into the straight at a much quicker rate and accelerate to a much higher maximum speed. Taking this turn wider at entry, this might be better. Also accelerating out of this turn might be better in a faster, straighter line. So there's a lot of time to gain on almost every corner here. There are a handful, maybe less, half a handful of turns where I've identified where I could go faster myself. Take a look at the car in front. On its left rear tire, it's dragging an orange cone with it. This is also another reason why I love iRacing. They simulate pretty much a lot of things that are interacting with the cars, including a cone being dragged underneath the car's bottom in front of us. This car is going to lose that cone on the next right turn here. There comes the cone. There it is. Nice. And we did not pick it up ourselves either. So off we go on to the next couple of turns here. Definitely next season a 1:42, maybe 1:41.5 lap time should be doable for myself. I can practice that, I can get to those corners a little bit better. Otherwise, I really love this track. This is a fantastic track. There are some tight turns, some quick turns, some medium speed turns, some wide turns. The road is very wide as well. This is fantastic, I love it. We just have to figure out how to stay with the cars ahead of us or go around them. Another cone flying through the air. On these fast turns, the right turn on this one, I take in gear 1. I'm not sure if that's the right one or if I could go through it faster in gear 2. Here, definitely trying to go as tight as possible and pushing the accelerator as quickly as I can back out. The car in front does go wide, and unfortunately we were giving them too much space. I did not think that they would go off here, so I gave them too much space and we did not capitalize on their mistake. But once a car makes one mistake, there's a likelihood of more mistakes, so that's encouraging for me as a rookie driver as well, trying to follow them behind. Again, trying to accelerate quicker through here. I did not use all the track on the right hand side, so that can be improved in the future. The same thing with going here. I go a little bit too quickly through here. The car is unsettled and unbalanced by getting bumped over that curb on the right, and then we touch the sand on the left, the gravel, and that compromises the entry onto the start and finish straight here for us. But we're still staying with the car ahead of us, and we're trying to maximize the car as dirt flies off from this other car as it leaves the track temporarily. Here, trying to stay on the darkened part of the track, which is close to the optimal line, but again, I make a mistake watching the car in front. I overcorrect, and I barely manage to avoid bumping into the barriers, and that has set us back a little bit. Now we have to really push it, and also perhaps maybe relax a little bit because there's no car behind us. We're safe from cars behind, and the cars in front are definitely quicker than us, or at least as quick as we were. The fastest lap I did manage to get in here was a 1:42 something, 1:42.8 maybe. The last one is a 1:44.2, so around there between 1:42 and 1:44 is where I'm going. Not bad. I'm quite happy with this result, especially for the limited amount of time I've practiced here. And overall, it's a beautiful racetrack. I enjoy driving on it. Cars in front now have disappeared. There it still is visible, so again, that gives me hope. I'm trying to go through here as quickly as possible, gearing up, but again, look at this exit, not using the full width of the track. I could have managed that better, but now that I know that, this is what I will be practicing for the next season once this racetrack comes around again. At points like this in the race, where it becomes a little bit of a lonely race, I do really enjoy having my relative on. For two reasons. One, I already mentioned, because it allows me to double check my impressions with my own driving to confirm whether when I think I'm going faster by driving aggressively or however I'm driving, I'm going faster in my head, to confirm with the relative in absolute terms whether or not I'm truly going faster. But on the other hand, I also enjoy them in these particularly lonely sections of the race because it allows me to confirm and check whether or not I'm going consistent. It allows me to relax a little bit if I'm going too fast, too slow, and it allows me to be aiming for consistency above everything else. So I definitely recommend turning that relative on at some point once it becomes a more lonely race. At least I enjoy doing this. It allows me to practice the consistency. How about you? Do you turn the relative on during a race? I've seen some other YouTubers do it as well, but what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. The other thing that I'm still trying to get an answer to, or still trying to figure out how it affects the driving in the race, is gravel and debris on the road. Does that affect the tires? And if so, to what extent and for how long? I haven't been able to notice much of a difference, especially not in the Mazda that I drive usually, but does gravel on the road that is kicked up from other cars and left on the road, how does that affect the car and the race? Now, we didn't have really too much gravel here just yet, but in other races, definitely gravel on the road. They have a flag displayed for it, so it must do something, otherwise they wouldn't show a flag for no reason. But I haven't been able to ascertain really and feel in the driving itself how that would affect the car. Oh, speaking of things I was supposed to say during a YouTube video, thank you for joining me, and if you like this kind of content and would like to follow along for more and support the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. Happy to have you on board, and I'll hope to see you on a regular basis. Now there's more of this race to come, don't click away just yet. I just usually forget to tell the line of click the like and subscribe button. But anyways, here we are. My rookie race on this racetrack in Germany is now going into the second to last lap. It's a little bit of a lonely race. Again, consistency is key, what I'm aiming for here. Trying to stay on the right hand side of the racetrack. As we can see in the screen, in the videos from above, there is more room on the left and right as I go through these turns. So I do know roughly where on the cockpit view how far I can go in terms of where the lights are, where my reference points are on the car, on the dashboard there, but it's still a little bit nerve-wracking trying to maximize this at high speeds, especially in corners when I'm not 100% confident in each particular corner when that happens. But in other cases, I do try to maximize it, maybe overshoot it sometimes. So those are things I'm trying to work on. I'm also trying to work on not braking as much, so as the race progressed here, I was coasting much more through these particular turns. Braking, of course, with this one, and then trying to get on the accelerator as quickly as possible right before I get to the apex on it. Still, once in a while, the car ahead pops into view, giving me hope that maybe they make a mistake and we can still catch them. But if not, it's a good outcome here. Like I said, practiced only one AI race, half an hour for this, due to a busy week. And I started in P10, managed to go through P7 in the end, I believe this is. Cars ahead were definitely faster, cars behind definitely slower, so good matchup. I was car number 8, I was assigned number 8, and as far as I understand, the car numbers that you're assigned are roughly where iRacing determines you should be ranked amongst the competition in each split. Not sure if that's true. Again, so many questions this week from me. And here we go, crossing the finish line in a respectable P7. My safety rating has gone up. This is another question I need to address at some point. My safety rating is going up. It's a 3.68 something or so, rather, very high. But my iRating is only slowly going up. It's going down, of course, here because I ended up in P7. But regardless, fun race, love it. I'll hopefully have more time to practice this week, and it's already looking like a good week. So thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.